and welcome to Red Sting Radio, a Dead by Daylight podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Madison, and I'm joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Stevie
Hello.
and Bryson.
Howdy.
Thank you all for being here today. Before we get started, you may realize, wait, Bryson wasn't the one to open today's episode like usual. Why is that? Well, today we're going to be taking a look at some game lore, specifically Dead by Daylight lore. And as the unofficial lore expert for the podcast, I will be guiding today's conversation.
I'm
This
so
is
excited.
episode 10. Oh,
This is going to
sorry.
be a good time.
Oh, yes, thank you. Glaze me, glaze me. Oh, wait, that sounds wrong. Okay. Anyways, this is episode 10 of Red Sting Radio, where we are going to delve into the lore of one of Dead by Daylight's community's favorite original killers, the Unknown. But first, we want to
Slay.
cover some news. So, the fifth verse of the Grimoire has opened and closed as of recording, so hopefully you got a chance
It
to
was
vote.
open for one weekend. That's how it goes. You have
Maybe
like
they could
48 hours.
a day or two. I feel
Yeah.
like that would be nice. But on their tweet, they said, for the fourth verse, you chose Door of the Divine Investigator for the Survivor and Torment for the Killer. So that means for the Killer, they're going to have a special status effect of like the Unknown with the weakened status effect or Onryo with the tapes. And for the Survivor, it's more about lore and perks, but seeming to be more like aura reading is the vibe I'm getting.
Mhm.
That could be the case because we need those, and they're easy to make.
Yeah,
Maybe
very
like
easy to make.
scavenge 5 chests. You can see the killer's aura every time they walk near a completed generator.
Oh
That would
no.
be the
Celebrating.
easiest perk for them to make.
No.
Hopefully it's not an invocation perk. That wouldn't be very fun.
Oh god. I would not be surprised though. Maybe they actually make a good
Yeah.
one. Whoa.
I
You
guess
become
like
broken. You see the aura of every chest within 2 meters.
oh
Yes.
no, that's horrible.
Yes. For the fifth verse, we will determine more of the survivor's lore, specifically their life before the collapse caused by the killer, and more of how the killer's status effect is applied and or how their power works. The killer choices have small taglines concluded in the like choices you can make. So I'm thinking that might be tied to like perk or power bits, because normally killer's powers or perks have like a little, I don't know how to
Oh,
describe it,
100%.
flavor text before they actually tell you what they do.
Mhm.
And they were pretty descriptive for how short they were. It's
Yeah.
either the stalking one, or the repetition, or the other one that I forget.
Also, it says here that voting is closed, as we've said before, and it looks like the winners are going to be the lone pilgrim. So this person's kind of like lonely. Maybe they have a bit of like a magical origin. Maybe they were part angel or something like that. And the other one, I'm surprised this one won, the Immortal Eye. So that means this killer is 90% likely to be a stealth killer, which I was not expecting at all. I thought everyone was going to choose control or something like that, but is this Ghostface too? Is that what we're getting? Because that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
I think this is going to be Singularity too. I
Ooh,
don't know.
Singularity,
I'm
yeah.
picturing something like that. You just get a full bird's eye view. You have the immortal eye. It can't go away. As soon as you get tagged, they know where you are.
Ooh.
That's
Ooh.
what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
It's the one I voted for. I voted for both of these, so I got a chip on my shoulder. I feel like I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love these characters if these are the choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bryson, what did you think?
Yeah, this is cool. I did not vote for the Immortal Eye. I also don't remember what I voted for the Survivor. I did it very quickly. I just skimmed through them. The one with the Immortal Eye, I think the one killer wise, I think I clicked on the one below that, and I don't remember what it was called. I'm blanking on it. It's been a few
You can
days.
still view it. Yeah, which one did you pick? The
Yeah.
3 options. Stalking begets torment, the punishing heart, action begets torment, guiding hand, repetition begets torment.
Yeah, I think it was the guiding hand. I just because like I don't know, it just sounded kind of interesting in a way.
Right.
Like just kind of like the vibe there was cool. But I'm all for it. I mean, so far this killer and survivor is shaping up to be really nice, and I'm really excited to see the more nitty gritty details of like that is like to really actually see it, rather than just we're at the concept phase at this point, but like really see like the
Oh,
nitty
yeah.
gritty and the kit come together essentially.
Yes. I really hope that they make the angel killer. Okay. This is purely me being a dumbass, but I would love if the killer looks like Gabriel from Ultra Kill. He's not gonna look like that, but I would love it if he
That'd
looked
be
like
a
that
good
and they got
mix.
like a licensed cosmetic.
That'd be a good time.
Instant main, hello. Okay, V1. Anyways, we have some more news about the Halloween game that was announced by
Mhm.
Illfonic, which is the primary developer, and Gun, who was assisting in development, and Gun's the people who made Friday the 13th and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre games. Previously, they made Predator Hunting Grounds. This is about Illfonic, and they also made Friday the 13th and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Uh, we learned a bit more about the game for Halloween, that being it's going to be single player and multiplayer. The multiplayer will be like Dead by Daylight, where it's a 1v4, Michael versus four survivors. The single player, though, will put you in the shoes of Michael and allow you to live the moments he's not seen on screen, giving you the option to explore Haddonfield and the Myers house. This will also include an offline mode that includes robots, AI, and it's set for a 2026 release. Bryson, you're the one I think is most interested. I could be wrong.
I am, yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic,
Mhm.
mainly because of Ilphonic and Gun
Yeah.
Media's previous, as you mentioned, the titles previously, Predator Hunting Grounds, Friday the 13th the game. Gun also. Ilphonic didn't help with this, but Gun, Texas Chainsaw Massacre recently
Yeah.
lost no more future content support, which really sucks. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, this will be another that kind of vibe or the Friday 13th vibe." I have a little more hope in this, in that, for one, there's going to be a single player game or single player mode. That sounds really interesting. We're playing Michael when he's not on screen of the original movie. Maybe they'll expand that out to other movies as well. It seems like, as of right now, they're just covering the first movie, but I'm sure they will. And the Halloween movies are weird. Like, they're licensed out really weird because it was very much an indie kind of project, and all the future iterations were also like under different studios and such. So I'm sure they can get there in terms of licensing all of those other movies. But I have a little more hope in this, in that there are more Halloween movies than there are like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, there's only like two movies, and there's some remakes, and those remakes have sequels. But essentially, the main killer you have and the thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre is you had three killers and you had four survivors or five survivors. Actually, I don't remember. Um, and so, like, you and all those other killers were essentially like original, or at least what they came out with afterwards. So, Halloween, they could do a lot of similar things with like Friday 13th, where you have all these iterations of Michael, even pulling the Rob Zombie ones and such. So yeah, I'm really interested. Again, I'm cautiously optimistic. I won't get this at launch. I'll wait to see, but I'm eager to see what it looks like.
I think it'll
That's a
have a
good
little bit of a longer shelf life than the other ones, but only for the fact that it'll have the offline single player.
Yeah,
I'm
Yes.
anticipating it just being like a story mode. You just kind of run around as Michael Myers and do all the canonical kills, and then it points you in the right direction. I think it'll be like a DVD training map. Like you're playing one of those baby CS:GO maps that teaches you how to surf for the first time.
yeah, that's interesting because they say they're going to play as Michael when he's not on screen. So they're probably going to break some canon here. In the original movie, he only kills
And if they already hook
six
it up to be
people.
a 1v4, then the one person role is going to be more likely to be the better single player experience than
Oh
the
yeah,
four-person role. Can't really
absolutely.
do a single player Dead by Daylight clone, even if it's like
Mhm.
going to be wildly distinct. But you
It
can't really do a single player from the survivor side.
I mean, I think you could, but it'd have to be more like a survival horror experience, almost like Alien Isolation, where Michael is
There
the
we
one
go.
hunting you down, but you can't kill him. You can only distract him, and you can only maybe push him away via, like an Alien Isolation, you have a flamethrower. Doesn't kill the xenomorph, but it scares it away. So maybe in some aspect you do that. Maybe that comes out later. But this seems to be a third person kind of thing. Not really sure how it's set up, but we have not seen gameplay. But yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, maybe more
Who
content will come
knows?
after.
Yeah. We'll get
Yeah,
trailers and trailers.
trailers
Oh
from
yeah,
trailers.
mini.
What I'm kind of looking forward to is how they're going to deal with like Myers when he catches a survivor, because in all of them except for I think the Killer Clowns one, it's if he catches you and he downs you, you die. You're gone. There's no second chance. You're gone.
Yeah.
Same thing for Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Predator Hunting Grounds. There's no like second chance. And I feel like they're gonna do the same, but I feel like a lot of the reasons people don't really like those games, in my opinion, is that survivor mistakes are a lot more detrimental, whereas in WD, there's a little more leeway. I'm not saying like, oh, there's no mistakes ever, but like you have to get hooked 3 times, so you have to fail 3 times in chase or get caught in chase 3 times, and then you're out. Versus the other games where it's one mistake and you're out. Like I remember seeing
Big
people
time.
like speedrunning a kill, and it was like 40 seconds in Chainsaw
That's so
Massacre. It was
fast.
crazy, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that
right.
person's
If
just
they don't
gone.
know how to play, if they're unlucky, it's all there.
Exactly.
Dead by
So
Daylight was like the same with the first instant kill Moris when they first released them. You could just Mori whoever you put on the floor first.
Crazy.
They got rid of that
Crazy.
really quick because they had a better system already hooked up.
exactly.
Ugh.
So
I am interested because you bring that up, Maddie. Illfonic, Predator Hunter Grounds, there is a way to bring back teammates who have died. Like you can call in a
okay.
support helicopter to bring in like reinforcements. There's no way for the Predator to stop that, which I've heard is a big complaint for like the Predator side. And then with like Friday the 13th, one player got to become Tommy Jarvis. If you called for help, that is. So maybe they'll do something kind of like that. Like, okay, two people have died and they have a chance to come back as cops or something like that.
No, no, they come back as Sam Loomis. They
I was
come
gonna
back
say,
as
yeah,
the
Yeah, there you
doctor.
go. Bring back
And
Loomis.
you,
Oh, that'd be
you actually
great.
get the gun to shoot the killer with.
Oh, that'd be
If he takes too
awesome.
long killing everyone, you get the gun.
oh
Oh,
my god,
that's
did
peak.
Every
we solve
survivor's
the
dream.
Halloween game? Oh my god.
Yeah, so I bet they'll have something like that. But yeah, I'm not gonna expect Michael to start hooking people unless they have a
Yeah,
collab.
no, that's weird. He's
But
like, I did not bring Dead by Duty with me.
mhm.
This is my universe. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the topic of the show, which, as we said earlier, is the unknown. Today's episode will be covering the unknown and its lore.
I
The unknown
love the
hit the
unknown.
PTV though on February 20th, 2024, which was also my birthday.
No
And it
way.
was,
Ooh,
oh, sorry.
No way. That's
Yeah.
a good coincidence.
that's
So who
crazy.
knows? Maybe me and the unknown are twins?
A twin?
Oh wow,
The unknown is the twins confirmed. Am I Victor or am I Charlotte?
that's up to you, I guess.
I want to be Charlotte. I don't want to be small and kegged. Anyways,
Yep, yep,
he
better
was
choice. Yep.
The
Yeah.
Unknown was released fully on March 12th, 2024, along with Sable Ward in Chapter 31, All Things Wicked. The Unknown has been widely considered Dead by Daylight's most unique killer, with a striking design and creative gameplay rotation between it and Survivors. However, one question long stands after its release. What exactly is the Unknown? Before we dive in, we also want to recognize and pay respects, though, to Zoe Alexandra, the voice actor who provided the lines for and really brought the unknown character to life. She sadly passed away, though, on April 30th of last year due to issues with their autoimmune issues.
Oh, well, that's sad. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
chronic illness really takes a toll
Mhm,
on a lot of people. Um, it was a very stressful time hearing about it and learning
Mm.
about who the actor was,
mhm,
and then figuring out really soon after the release that they were no longer with us. So
mhm. Especially
Yeah,
since
that's
it's
really
like
chopped us up.
at a point with like autoimmune diseases, sometimes it can get to a point where there's nothing you can do. You just kind of have to say, do I want to try and live for a couple more months, or do I just give up and let to enjoy the last moments I have? We might include some links or some sources to people who are struggling with someone who has autoimmune issues or people who are struggling with someone who's in the hospital for a long amount of time. And hopefully, maybe a donation link to maybe a hospital or an organization dealing with autoimmune issues. I just feel like that was really important to mention, given that the voice actor was one of the people who made the character come to life. And it would be a shame and really gross if we didn't mention her at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
For real.
All right, so let's move on to the episode. Sorry about the downer for that, but I feel like that was really important to mention.
Red Stain Radio roller coaster of emotions.
Exactly.
Hell
So
yeah.
let's roll into the unknown itself and its origins. So the first couple of things you get from the unknown is that it's kind of a mix of cryptids, analog horror, found footage, and monster slash slasher tropes. And it's kind of an amalgamation of that, and it's really present in its lore. Additionally, it's really like built wrong in a way. Like how its neck and head don't match up with its body. It has that weird mound on its stomach, almost looking like a baby bump or something, but then it has like the weird tentacle thing. His
He
arms
just
are twisted on.
no, he's just had too many beers. It's okay.
You're right. Oh my god, his beer belly. Oh my
It's just
god.
wearing the skin all wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's always mimicking what people say, like, have you seen my dog? Like, no, stay away. I am not
Hmm.
helping you find that
It's
dog.
like, hey, come check this out. It's like, no, dude.
It's like I'm good.
What's also interesting, it's in the same world as Michaela and Sable, aka Greenville, and that like realm, because some survivors and killers are from other worlds and others aren't, which is kind of weird. Like, to put it briefly, Hillbilly is not in the same universe as Legion. Legion has a movie of Hillbilly, and Hillbilly is a fictional character. So it's kind of like that. So Sable, Michaela, Michaela's friend, and the Unknown are all in their little bubble of Greenville. Remember that. And another interesting thing, just want to mention this up just in case we do an episode on Sable or Michaela. Michaela's lore never mentions Sable, but Sable's like, she's my best friend. She's like my girly pop. Every day we went to the graveyard and hanged out together. And Michaela never talked about her. She talked about her other best friends. So the reason why I mentioned that is I do have a theory about the Unknown that I didn't include in my notes. So it's like a little plot twist
Ooh.
relating to that and Sable Ward. So
No way. You have the secret info for
yeah, I
why
got
why
secret
they were
info.
just roommates.
Yeah, they're not just roommates, they're something else entirely, and we'll cover that soon. But we're gonna be talking more about the Unknown's origins later, because I have a few more theories, because I love to theorize. And
Oh, good.
finally, some key information I'd like you and you two to know, because I don't know how much you know about the lore. So here are some things I would like you to know. So, as mentioned before, the Unknown is an amalgamation of several different things, not just that I've described, but also backstories, which is going to be kind of interesting when we delve into that and its final lore. Additionally, its power is called UVX, which stands for Unknown Venom X. And then finally, it has a special status effect that, as you know, in the game, you have that weird purple thing if it hits you with its little ball, which is called Weakened. Now ask yourself, why is it called Weakened and not like Poisoned? Strange.
Hmm. Hmm.
Alrighty, Stevie, Bryson, any thoughts about what I just said before we delve into the lore?
Yeah. I like it so much because they just threw the most insane power together and just kind of feels like they slapped vague words on top of it. So for a quick glance, you really aren't learning anything about the unknown. Yeah, his power is the unknown Venom X, but like Bear Trapper's got the Bear Trapper X power 9000, but not really. It's just Bear Traps. Two words.
Yeah.
But they hide exactly what it is in so many words, is what I like. They just throw so much stuff together that it feels complex, but you go against it, it's,
Ooh.
consistent, it sometimes, but it's fun. It's got so much flavor. They just seasoned it a little so much more than they do anyone else.
Yeah, for me, the unknown is just such a. Unfortunately, don't play against him a lot because I don't see him often. Um, Change that, listeners. Listeners, play more unknown.
Yes.
Although he's kind of tough to play, but like I'm all for his aesthetic. This kind of like urban legend, cryptid kind of weird amalgamation of things. He has that weakened status effect with that purple bubble around your head, which is just kind of unique, and you have to look at him to get rid of it, which is such a cool concept and a cool feature and mechanic yeah. And when I go against a good unknown, it's just a great time. So, and then the TPing and like getting rid of his like little, I don't remember the official name, but like his little copies of
Hallucinations.
himself. Yeah, his hallucinations. Like, and he can TP to them, and then people will like you did the other day, Maddie, in our Kill Your Friends lobby. You put on Insidious and tried to pretend like you
It
were just
works, doesn't it? I
it was
figure it
it was
always works.
awful. It was so funny because it's funny because she stopped and I saw the red stain go away and I'm like, she is Insidious, and then she saw me and she
Okay.
started chasing me. It was the
You
best,
gotta
but
hide the insidious
but
first.
I just love his whole kit. He's a really interesting character. Maddie, you mentioned like it looks, his face is like like you can't see his eyes because they're like turned, like his face is turned, like he's wearing a mask, like it's like a whole kind of mask, but he's twisted and like all his limbs are like in a weird position, and he's got really bad back problems. He should go see a chiropractor, honestly, but he'd probably just consume him anyways. But yeah, really cool character. I know very little about his backstory or his lore. I'm really interested to know if we even know, because he is the unknown, or if he has any connections to Sable, because they are in the same chapter. So yeah, I'm excited to dive in.
They do, maybe they
Why,
don't. We'll have to
why,
see.
why do we call it the weekend? Why is it weekend?
Exactly. I'm
Get hit
glad you're
with
thinking these
the I
questions.
only
Yeah.
called you when it's half past. It's a weekend status effect.
Yes. So, now that we've gotten our thoughts through, let's talk about the unknown, specifically how it was teased. So, around January of 2024, they had probably one of the best marketing slash teaser campaigns
Oh,
ever. It
so
took
good,
the form
so good.
of in-universe social media posts, that be like Instagram stories, what's it called? Like pictures are
Screenshots.
screenshots. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
No,
Email
don't worry.
screenshots and stuff like that, and it all kind of catalogs some kind of creature, an unknown entity of sorts, roaming around the town of Greenville, and it kind of catalogs the disappearances and strange encounters of the current year, but also a bit in the past. And before we move in, I just want to mention the Greenville Square, Woodward Isles realm specifically map entry, because if you didn't know, if you go into Kill Your Friends and hover over a map in the little map selector, you get some lore. And I want to read this because I feel like it's a good precursor to everything. A thin
Get
slice
into it.
of small town Americana, long abandoned, long forgotten. Greenville was always meant to be a place for those who felt like they didn't belong, a town founded by pilgrims fleeing persecution. Those pilgrims still watch over the environment, their fierce determination lovingly portrayed in a statue that stands tall in the center of town. Now in the entity's realm, something wanders freely along the overgrown streets, a writhing creature responsible for a string of disappearances across the country going back decades. Even the local cinema, a hub of fantasy and escapism, provides no sanctuary from the evil that will never die. So, a little spooky, a little
Yeah,
weird.
The
What do you
writing
absolutely.
think?
team went hard at this point. They were in full swing.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
they cooked.
2024 marketing team was
Yeah,
was
no, they
writing
locked the
their
fuck
heart out.
in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now with that said, I'm going to start reading the teasers that they had. But before we do that, I want to thank two people on Reddit, that's being Bread Pear and White Mantra, because it took me, I kid you not, 4 hours to find these teasers, and I could not find them. I tried to go back in their social media, but you can't go too far back.
Oh
So
yeah,
I had to just like search Google Images until I finally found a Reddit post of it from like 2 years ago. So I was like, thank you so much. So thank
nice.
you, Bread Pear, White Mantra. You saved the podcast so I can read these awesome
Oh,
teasers
that's
provided by
blessed. Because I
Behavior.
remember they were such high quality. They just came together and
Yes,
for little things that would be just social media posts to trick people into thinking they were other social media posts.
Yeah,
exactly. And then
people ate those up.
yeah, I ate those up. I was like, yes, give us
It
more.
was good. It
This is
Mm-hmm.
was
so good.
good.
So I'm gonna start with the first one they teased. I don't have the exact date, but it's a little story. So lock in, guys, and then you can give me your thoughts afterwards. I was on garbage duty. One of the boys usually offered to take care of it, but I was closing the diner alone with my friend Ashley. The cook had left an hour ago, and this was one of the last tasks we needed to take care of before we could head home. I'm going to grab a smoke and ask Kyler to pick me up, Ashley said. I'll be back in a second to finish mopping. It's fine. I'll do it when I'm done with the garbage. It will only take about a minute. She smiled and walked out through the back door. I wasn't trying to be nice. I just wanted to leave as soon as possible. The diner was at the edge of the town and surrounded by forest. I dreaded staying away around after dark. I always felt watching eyes whenever I walked to my car. I slung the bags over my shoulders and headed toward the back door. The dumpster was behind the diner next to a picnic table where some of the staff sometimes took their break. I wasn't surprised to see Ashley wasn't there, but she sometimes paced around the diner when she was on the call. I tossed the sticky garbage bags and wiped my hands with disgust. I hated garbage duty. I was about to back inside when I noticed something glowing at my feet. Ashley's phone. I looked around nervously. Ashley wasn't known for pranks. I picked it up and took my own phone from my back pocket. I wasn't sure what to do or who to call. I didn't have to. A voice called out from the darkness. Ashley's voice. Ashley, this isn't funny, I said. I stepped into the forest. I didn't know how she had managed to navigate the trail in the dark. I had to turn on the flashlight to be able to see 2 feet in front of me. I let her voice guide me, but I still couldn't make out what she was saying. She sounded distant, distorted. I want to go home, I insisted. Please, can we go back to the diner now? She either didn't hear me or pretended not to. I couldn't tell I was close when I caught a glimpse. I could tell I was close when I caught a glimpse of blonde hair in the distance. Hello, Tyler, she said, her voice hoarse and strained. Is Tyler with you? I asked, pointing the light ahead. I could see 2 figures. One of them, shorter, leaned against the trunk of a tree, while the other, taller, stood a little to the side. The first one must have been Ashley, but the second one looked wrong. Twisted. The torso and the legs seemed to be facing different directions, as if they could have walked toward me without ever taking their eyes off Ashley. I have your phone, I added. Hello, Tyler, she said again, but I could now see her lips never moved. Something didn't feel right. It's me, she started. Can you pick me up? She tried, hesitant. Me up. Pick me up. Tyler, it's me. Hello? I caught a glimpse of something in the light. It looked like teeth, too many to count. A phone rang. Not mine, but Ashley's. Tyler was calling. The tall figure shifted, and it spoke again, its disembodied voice sounding almost exactly like my own. Home, it said. Please. I ran without looking back, branches tearing at my skin, slicing my arms and cheeks. I reached the diner and threw myself inside, locking the back door behind me. I waited for a thump, a crash against the door, but it never came. I stood there for a while, still clutching Ashley's phone, and before gathering enough courage to sprint to my car. It's 3 a.m, and I don't know what to do. Tyler keeps calling Ashley's phone, but I don't know what I would tell him. I want to believe this is a cruel prank, but I can still hear it now, floating softly through the wind. A voice, haunting and familiar, so close to my own. Please, it begs. I want to go home. And that's the first teaser.
Incredible first teaser.
chilling. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like, why did they fucking lock in with that writing? They were like, okay, let's write a creepypasta short story, but make it scary.
And
Like,
it's a 10 out of 10 creepypasta, too. It's not even cheesy.
yeah,
like
it's
it-
not like Sonic.exe.
It
It's
just
good.
explains the killer. It's nice.
Yeah,
I love the
so,
word they use for the character. The character described as distorted. Like that is such a good. Like it's it's not quite clear. Like there's things you recognize, but there's things that are off.
It's messed up, right? It's
Yeah,
not
like-
right.
It's such a good word for the unknown. I love that.
Yeah, and that was in the form of a Instagram story too, and it was like kind of like someone wrote like a, you know how celebrities will do like a, I'm so sorry I said the
Yeah.
slur at the party. It was
Yeah.
written like that, so it made it feel like you weren't supposed to see it, which I really liked. Like it was something that was very informal, very not expected of behavior. So I really liked that. Any other thoughts before we move on to the next teaser?
I like the story that it focuses on. The unknown kind of sticks to certain words that it hears, but the ones it chooses to repeat are always, it's in distress. Maybe it's a way to trick, or maybe it's it crying out for help. You still don't know, but it's really good. It's really good.
Like,
Yeah, for me, when I first saw this teaser, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be like a mimic kind of killer, and the unknown is in a way is mimicking it. That's kind of just part of its appearance and not its power. But yeah, just like this teaser was just a good way to just tee up just the rest of these string of teasers and eventually the chapter. So they killed it right off the bat.
they locked the fuck in, which leads us to the second teaser where they locked the fuck in. Pizza tonight? Sounds good. I'll pick it up on my way home. Thank you. Heart emoji. Love you. Love you too. Everything okay at home? Yeah, just cleaning. What's up? Got a notification from the security system. Saw something weird on the feed. Can you check the back door? Weird. What did it look like? Just a blur in front of the camera. It's too close to tell what it is. Raccoons, maybe. Maybe. But it had to be pretty tall. Camera's at eye level. Just checked. Nothing there. Door is locked too. Okay. Thank you. We'll keep an eye on the little rascals. We should start leaving the garbage in the garage. Yeah, you're right. Working late? Yeah, sorry. Should have texted. Almost done. Everything okay? The neighbor's dog won't stop barking. Again? Third night in a row. I don't know what to do. I rang the neighbors. No one's home. The dog stopped barking, but he's whining now. It sounds wrong. I'll be there soon. Wrapping up. I hope he's okay. Love you. Love you too. Hey, something's in the backyard again. It's too dark to see what it is. That was probably me. Stepped out 5 minutes ago. I thought I heard the neighbors. Wanted to check on the dog. Maybe stay inside. Until I get there. I can go talk to them after. Okay, it wasn't them anyway. Love you. Love you too. Pepperoni? I'll just grab two different ones. We'll have leftovers. Got the pizzas. Almost there. Lisa? Lisa, where did you go? And that was the teaser, pretty short.
Poor
And
Lisa.
it's a text message between someone and their partner, Lisa. And Lisa's gone. Lisa's dead.
Gone.
Sorry. Lisa got
No.
snapped.
And that dog.
Yeah.
Unknown neighbor's dog. Well,
Poor dog,
probably all the
too.
neighbors too.
Well, the unknown, doesn't he have a voice line about a dog? Like, are you
Have you
looking for
seen
your
my dog?
dog? Yeah, have you seen my dog? Like, that's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate.
Mhm.
What does the unknown want with a dog?
He wanted his skin. He wanted his soul. All right. Any thoughts before I move on to the next teaser?
It's really, like keep you on your edge. Like there's a teaser for a killer coming out, but I think it lines up pretty nicely with one of the ones that comes out later when there's a video footage that seems like it's from
Yes.
someone's
Yes.
backyard, so you get a full picture of this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. We're gonna move on to the email, which is titled Important About Ryan. Hello, Mrs. Allen. I'm Ryan's roommate, Danny. I think we briefly saw each other during orientation week. Ryan mentioned where you worked a while back, and I found your email address on the company's website. I think something is wrong with Ryan. It started today. Ryan was excited to try a new trail on his daily run and said he'd meet me in the dining hall for breakfast after. He never showed up. I found him in our room after my first class of the day. He was scribbling at the desk. He was still there when I came back hours later, sitting in the dark, still scribbling. He snapped out of a trance when I called his name and said he'd lost track of time. He seemed normal over dinner. When I asked about his day, he said he'd been busy studying. When we got back to our room, he left to take a shower and I got curious. I wanted to know what he was working on, so I waited until he was in the shower and looked at his desk. You'll find a picture attached to this email, but there were dozens of them. Under his bed, crammed between the mattress and the slats, hidden behind the blinds, littering the floor in his closet. I even found a single piece of paper under my pillow. I pretended like nothing happened, but shortly after we went to bed, I heard it again. The scratching of a pencil against paper. He started scribbling again. He's spiraling, and I don't think I can handle this on my own. I reached out to our resident assistant, but they can't do anything until something happens. I don't want to wait for that. Could you come and check on him? Danny. And included is the neck of the unknown, or someone's rendition. And it's very bloody and very grim and very creepy. But yeah, this
Totally
one
feels
I
like
assume
that, like
place
the back
me.
of this monster. He didn't get to see its face. He ran away in time, and he's trying to remember this moment that he's barely able to
Mhm.
think about.
Or maybe he's gone crazy. Whoa.
Yeah, I
Rachel,
remember
any
seeing
thoughts?
I remember seeing the scribble, the sketch, and I was like, "What is that? Like it looks like a lump of something." And
Yes.
to now know that it's the unknown's neck is just creepy and like gross and just fits with the narrative that they're trying to tell within this marketing campaign. So yeah, excellent work, and just continuing through each of these teases like just gave me chills over and over, and especially when we get to the audio and video stuff, rather than the second how it counts. Like it's incredible how much it like struck fear into me.
This one's fun too. They do it like such perfectly. You can tell it's just they screenshot a Gmail between two people that worked at Behavior. but the screenshots just sell it so that when you post it on Reddit and somebody forgets that they're in the DVD subreddit and they see this and the first comment's like, "Whoa, I thought this was real." It's
Yeah,
like, no, no, it's a little teaser.
yeah.
But
What
they
I
sold
also
it.
really... Oh, sorry. Continue. Sorry.
That's it. They sold this one out well. This one was done perfect.
What I also really enjoy is how human the later ones, like the first teaser was more of like a short story. It didn't really feel like someone like ranting to someone's. That was more of a scary story, which I liked. But the last two felt so human. They felt so real. It felt like you were actually going through someone's phone and reading their messages. And it kind of adds to that wrong feeling of like, why am I here? Why am I reading this? And why is this thing still happening? I don't like this. This is bad vibes.
Right, we shouldn't have Danny's phone right now, but
Exactly.
we
Yeah.
see it.
Like, is Danny dead? We don't know, and we'll never know. Unless we're considering Danny to be the Danny Ghostface, and then he's doing okay.
Yeah. Doing great.
Mhm. He's the favorite of an Ultrich entity for some reason.
Hmm.
But you know what? Go girl. Go slay.
He had to drop out of college and do something.
Exactly. Those
Hmm.
bills aren't going to pay themselves. So after that one, that was our last text-based teaser. The last two are both video. The one after the email to Miss Allen, we have motion detected, which is what you referenced, Stevie, which is the one where it was like the security camera, like the Ring doorbell camera. And in the corner, you can see something moving and it's like crawling on fours, and you're like, oh, disgusting. No. An interesting thing on rewatch, it's actually using the Unknown's idle animation for when you first select it. So I didn't know that until I
Oh,
rewatched it. And when I did, I was like, oh, okay. So that's what it was.
they just render it in gray and then
Hmm.
paste it right
Hmm.
on top of some footage from someone's house.
Do you think that was someone's actual house they used? Like, Danny, hey, we already used your name, but we also want to use your Ring camera. Is that okay?
Oh,
Please?
why not,
You'll
right?
be fired.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all
So
in engine. That surprised me.
that was the first video teaser. And then there was the final video teaser they released, which was 4 days before the PTB and the last teaser we got, which is also, in my opinion, my favorite of them all. I know, ironic. The last one's your favorite. Wow, very cool, very clever. But this one is simply called This Video is Presented as Found. It has not been edited. Nothing else. And
Great
then
title, by the
there's
way. Just creepy title.
literally, like, it's giving analog horror. It's very scary.
Hmm.
But I just love how the guy in the tent, for those who don't know, it has a video of someone's perspective holding a camera, recording themselves when they hear something outside their tent. They're very scared, they're very nervous, and then eventually someone starts calling out to them. It says, hello, help me. And they slowly open up the tent, very fucking slow, by the way, by the zipper. They're pulling it down, and eventually the I know just crawls in, and then you get like a flicker of its face, and it looks so disgusting. It looks so wrong. I hate it, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, which the whole, and not even just this teaser, but just in horror in general, the whole tent zipper slow is such a gag through and through horror. But
Mhm.
here it is done really well. For one, they've been building up to this with all these teasers, and two, the video is just so it's grainy. It's it's on like a cell phone maybe, and it's like you hear this kind of stuff going on outside, and I think even the unknowns is saying some stuff or mumbling or something outside, and it's just like it keeps going, the zipper keeps going up, and you hear that zipping noise like that we all know really really well, regardless of you've been camping or not. You know that zipping noise, and it doesn't even go all the way, and before it's night and you're not sure when it's gonna come, and I think in the middle of the zip it bolts in, and it's just like chaos ensues, and you see like little glimpses. Like that trope is done over and over in horror movies, but here it's just they build the tension really well and they pull the trigger at the right time for a really well executed teaser that scared the shit out of me.
No,
Like
it's good.
I
It
remember
hits.
screenshots of coming out of this and it was going all over social media and people were like, "What the fuck? What is happening?" Like a really well done analog horror teaser, scary little short, and it is I need to rewatch it because it's been a little bit, but like it is just a phenomenal teaser.
Maybe we can
It's
include it
the
in the
screaming
VOD.
is so scary. It
Yeah,
just
like he's
sounds
screaming and he's
real.
getting like we don't know what the unknown is
Panicked.
doing, especially at that time. Like, is the unknown eating him? Is he,
Is he
consuming?
tentacling him? Like,
Yeah,
He's
like
just
we have no
smiling.
clue.
Just in the tent, happy to have a
It's
friend.
yeah.
Who
insane,
knows?
Just hugging
incredible.
him. That's not his bones crunching. That's him doing chiropractor stuff on him. Because the unknown's actually a good guy. He's actually just trying to
Mm.
help people.
Yeah, he's actually going to be a survivor in a few seasons.
Yeah. Oh God, unknown as a survivor would be terrifying. So many people would be running away. Like, I'm trying to heal
Hey,
you.
he's looking for his dog.
Oh, you're right.
Help me
Stevie,
find my
any
dog.
Stevie, any final thoughts? Because I feel like you're trying to say stuff, and I accidentally cut you off. Like,
No, no, I'm getting it all out. Don't worry.
well, as mentioned before, that was the final teaser, and then eventually, as mentioned before, The Unknown was released in March of last year, and The Unknown got a very interesting lore entry for his like little biography that you can click, because it's not from his perspective. For almost every single killer, every survivor, it's from their perspective, except for the unknowns. And we're going to be reading that together. Well, I'm going to be reading it to you, and then you're going to have to listen to me read for like a minute. So, I'm
Go
scared.
for it.
Oh.
You got this.
Thank you. Olivia's master's thesis was on urban legends and their origins. She believed they share similarities with traditional folklore and picked one to illustrate her point. The unknown was believed to be a mysterious evil so heinous that investigating it almost immediately invited death. At least that was how the story went. And there were many stories. One story was of a woman in Greenville who disappeared without a trace on stage in front of a room full of witnesses. Her friend disappeared weeks later while trying to investigate what happened. The police were stumped. They had no clues or leads, and that mystery created the perfect storm for amplifying and spreading an urban legend. And instead of going back home for spring break, Olivia headed to Greenville to investigate. She drove to the second cheapest motel in town and began to set up in a small room that smelled of cigarette smoke, mold, and booze. She turned one wall into a kind of evidence board. She taped up articles and various theories on similar disappearances attributed to the unknown throughout the country. She made connections with red string and yellow thumbtacks. Anyone walking into the motel room would think she had lost her mind. There were many theories as to the unknown's origins. Some said it was a malevolent entity conjured long ago by an ancient cult. Others believed it to be an alien that escaped from Area 51. Legend was it thrived in darkness and stole the voices of those it consumed so as to lure others to their doom. The first newspaper articles Olivia found referenced a disappearance at a seance held in the 1800s. In the late 1950s, several college students mysteriously disappeared from a movie theater. Witnesses saw them go inside. Some remembered seeing them in their seats, but when the lights came up, they were gone. No one saw them leave. No traces of them were ever found. A projectionist claimed to have heard voices in the empty darkness of the theater later that night, but when he turned on the lights, no one was there. Then, in the 1960s, a group of teens disappeared while exploring an abandoned hospital believed to be haunted. Stories and speculation arose to explain these mystifying disappearances. Some talked about a top secret government research program run by the Office of Strategic Services in the 1950s, Project Apple Pie. Mind control experiments using hallucinogenic drugs. Most of the records were destroyed in the 70s, but witnesses claim that experiments were performed on unsuspecting civilians in various settings and locations throughout the country, including movie theaters, hospitals, and universities. Many believe these unethical experiments opened doorways to other dimensions, which allowed evil things to enter the world. Olivia wrote observations to pin to her evidence board. The unknown dwells in darkness and can mimic its victims. Was it an evil entity? Extraterrestrial? A failed government experiment? Or just a garden variety serial killer allergic to publicity? She wanted to prove the unknown was nothing more than modern day folklore, and that investigation led her to this night, to this place, to this shabby motel room. Yet she couldn't help but notice that the disappearances in Greenville included one detail that the other stories didn't: the fog. And she half remembered another urban legend with a thick, unnatural fog that somehow made people disappear. Maybe, she mused, The Greenville disappearances didn't relate to the unknown, but some other darkness. For a moment, Olivia wondered what would happen if one urban legend encountered another. She laughed at the idea and tempted fate by sketching a picture of what she thought the unknown might look like. Then she pinned the sketch right in the middle of her evidence board, laughed nervously, and waited to be consumed by the unknown for having tried to define it. Anxiously, she stared at the windows and front door for seconds that turned into minutes, and minutes turned into hours. But nothing happened. Now it was after 2 a.m., and Olivia was exhausted as she examined the articles and sipped cold coffee. So, when she first heard the whisper, she wondered if she imagined it. Olivia, it seemed to come from the bathroom. Help! The lights in the room flickered. Who's there? Olivia stared with wide eyes at the closed door of the bathroom. Her mind was playing tricks on her, or her friends had shown up to prank her. Aurelia? Sean? Stop messing around. The lights continued to flicker as she edged closer to the bathroom. Fear spread in long waves through her, and a terrible realization bloomed within her that the unknown was behind that bathroom door, was preparing to make her pay for her hubris. Something began to whisper her name again. But then the voice rose, cracked, and distorted in sudden panic, as if the brooding creature behind the door were under attack. An unknown horror filled Olivia's heart and left room for nothing else. She breathed deeply as cold sweat beaded on her forehead. She placed her hand on the doorknob. The lights turned off, but she could still hear the strangely inhuman cries. Then the lights turned back on, and she could see a strange black fog seeping through the bottom of the door. Hesitantly, Olivia creaked the door open to see a bulky shape with frenzied tentacles being pulled into a thick mass of fog, vanishing slowly into the darkness like a dying shadow. The shrieking stopped suddenly. Neighbors banged on the wall to turn down the TV, and Olivia stared intently at the black abyss that yawned before her. She wasn't sure what to do. Part of her wanted to run, but the other part wanted to know more. And as she considered what to do next, dozens of voices began to call out to her with promises of the unknown and the impossible and unearthly things beyond human experience. And that's the unknown's lore. That's what we got on day one, and I think that's the latest bout of lore we've gotten from the unknown. So, Bryson, Stevie, thoughts?
With
So
nothing else to go on, this is awesome.
yeah, so I mean, truly, I mean, they've named the unknown correctly, right? Like we know very little. We don't know where it originates from. We don't know what its purpose is. We don't know what it does to its victims, other than maybe mimics them. Like all very incredible stuff. And I don't want to know the origins of the unknown because, for one, I think the speculative aspect of that is the scariest, and your mind will wander to the scariest places rather than them defining it for you. And they do this in other horror movies as well. But I really think if we don't know who the unknown is, what its purpose is, any of that makes him so much more, or makes it so much more terrifying. Like I don't want to know anything else. Like my mind can wander and will go to these other dark places, and I will lose some sleep over it for sure, more so than what they could tell me that is set in stone. So I'm all for not knowing anything about the unknown.
Real.
Stevie, what are your
I
thoughts?
like that they mix in so much lore about the fog itself, and they throw you
Yeah.
curveballs. They say, "Can you trust everything we've told you, or is it related to a different thing that happened?" And it's like,
Ooh,
well, I know they all happened because these things happen in the world of DVD. This
yeah.
is the world they've built with secret cults and shadowy government organizations.
Mm.
But to have the unknown be not even pinned down by any of those, it's elusive. That's its point.
What I also found really interesting about the story was that it kind of mentioned Michaela without name dropping her. Because that performer on stage was exactly what happened to Michaela. She was
She
performing
did her
a horror
act and
story. She
poof.
didn't die now, but she was performing like a horror story that she had written up that felt wrong when she wrote it, and I think it was related to the entity. And when she read it on
Mm.
stage and she was about to finish, she just disappeared in front of everyone. Just like that. So,
That's
yeah.
her. And I mean, that it makes sense. She could invocate and cast a spell on herself, and it's why her
Mhm.
base outfit is so goofy. She was,
She's doing
costume
some witchcraft.
for story hour.
Yeah. But yeah, all of that's kind of tied together. We have Aurelia's story, which is very spooky, and it's just very, very interesting because no other backstory has done something like this, where it's someone else's point of view about the character, which I think really adds to the unknown, haha, nature of the unknown. That being that we don't even know what it is, so why should we hear from its perspective if it doesn't even know this as well?
No one's gotten the unknown yet.
Yes.
So there aren't any tomes with the unknown in it. There
I don't
that are
believe so.
focused.
No. That is our latest point in the story
If
that
you
we
don't
got.
count when they did
Yeah.
anniversary tomes for a week that had unknown skins.
Yeah, but then it's like the unknown found a lady. The lady prepared the champagne bottle to attack, and then she died.
Yeah.
And now
Yep.
the
I was
unknown
about
is
to
the old
ask if
lady.
any of the
You can
cosmetics
read
gave lore.
those like cosmetic lore and there's great flavor
Flavor
in them.
text. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have time, listeners or viewers, go read the unknown costume descriptions. They're very spooky. And something else I really like about it is that it never gives it a certain time period. It kind of references back in the story. Like in the story, it mentioned like, oh, it attacked a high school like long ago, like in the 1980s or something like that. And then one of the cosmetics is a cheerleader who decided to go figure out what was going on after she was doing a game or something with her other cheerleaders, and she was good con. It was like, okay, this thing is hundreds of years old and likes to kill. That's not terrifying at all. And no one
It's
knows
also got
what it is.
a wolf granny, the Red
Yes.
Riding Hood cosmetic, which
Yes.
is cool. So
Which is
Matches,
spooky
yeah,
because
Sable's Red Riding Hood.
which is spooky because the costume of that with the wolf one, it's a person underneath that costume. Someone was playing that role with that costume on. They heard it, and then
Oh,
yeah, no, that's not like the actual
Oh,
entity's interpretation of the big bad wolf. That was someone in a big bad wolf costume that got murked.
that really makes that
that
cosmetic
rules.
creepy. Like,
Yeah, no,
holy
there's a dead
shit.
guy under that, and then there's
I
something worse
did
under
not know
that.
that. Wow. Thank
And
you
then
for
it's
that.
wearing a grandma's costume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's got
Oh my
Layers
goodness.
upon
one, two, three.
layers.
It's got 4 layers. That's a 4 layer outfit.
It's like an
I didn't
onion.
know the unknown was chill like that. I didn't know they were
They're cut
designer.
off. That's a sleigh outfit.
Literally, they're
Insane.
slaying the fog away as they get kidnapped by the entity. That's another creepy thing, though. The unknown did not want to be taken by the entity. Everyone so far walked willingly. The unknown, as far as I know, is one of the few creatures slash characters that actively did not want to be dragged in and try to fight back. The other being Kate Denson, I think. So
Mhm.
that's just very weird. On the the girl head spectrum, we've got Kate, and then we got the creature.
Yeah.
It also kind of makes you think, why was the unknown so afraid of the entity? Does it know it? Did it create
Yeah.
it? Is it its parent? We don't know. Well,
Right, did it
probably never.
already escape from the fog at one
Did it
point?
escape? Exactly. Theories
Wow.
upon theories. Which leads us to our next point in the podcast. The speculation and theories. Yay! So now we get to do the thing that ruins the killer. Figure out what it is. Okay,
No,
but
we'll
jokes
never
aside,
know.
there's
Let's
a lot
leave
of
the
stuff we
best
can
part.
speculate and think about, so I thought we could take some time to go over that. And we're going to do it kind of like what we did in a couple other episodes, where we were talking about things like what we want for a DPD chapter, and that's round robin style. So we're going to start with Stevie, then me, then Bryson, and we'll keep going until everyone exhausts their theories and speculations. So Stevie, start us off, please.
Yeah. When I see the unknown and play against the unknown, I feel like DVD is supposed to be cinematic, so I always kind of relate my experiences to like if I'm playing a certain type of themed movie for 15 minutes. I'm either playing a Saw sequel or I'm playing, Texas Chainsaw sequel, but with unknown and all the things it brings to a match, I feel like I'm in like one of those hard sci-fi films that are just cosmic horror that really is all I get from the power as like a theme is you're getting like something otherworldly. I think of the cursed like farm that kind of happens to the family in The Color from Outer Space
Yes,
with
with the
Nick
well.
Cage. Their well gets kind of like, let's say hit with an alien meteor asteroid, and then it kind of fungus infects the entire farm. Things start like melting into each other, and like the world isn't right anymore, and they go crazy. They kill each other. Good movie. And then I also think of Annihilation, where it's like if that something has spanned an entire forest, and then we have to send a military team to figure out what happened in the middle. Another great movie. It's got great philosophical like ruminations. It feels way too smart for me, but I love watching it so much. Playing against unknown just gives me that. I feel like there's something from outer space that's consuming me in a way that I'm not used to seeing something eat, and it's just gonna eat me from the brain out. And that's scary.
Yeah. So Stevie's first fury, something from outer space, an alien perhaps, something
It's
like
gotta be.
Cthulhu.
It has to be, right?
It could be, but we don't know. It's unknown. So- but we're gonna move on to me and my theory. We're gonna start with my least favorite one because it's the most boring in my opinion. That being that the unknown is a demon. So basically, what my thoughts for this one is pretty simple. Back in the map that I talked about, the Greenville Square map, it mentioned the people who kind of like ran away from prosecution. My dumb theory is that they were all witches and they summoned a demon, and a lot of them died in that seance. So my idea was they summoned the unknown ran away, they ran away from it to Greenville, or maybe they ran away because they were being persecuted as witches, ran to Greenville, did a seance, a lot of them died, and now they released a demon. And now all of the people of Greenville are suffering for the consequences of their ancestors. Very simple, very dumb, but I just thought it was like, hey, 1 + 1 = 2, but 2 isn't actually the answer because there is no answer because it's the unknown. Bryson, it's your turn. What is your theory or speculations if you have any?
Yeah, I would say other than I don't want to know what the unknown is. I think the unknown being unknown is the best theory and the best way it should be kept. Other than that, I think a good way I'm looking at it, just based on these teasers, going back through these and kind of all of us talking, is the unknown is maybe a physical manifestation of people's fears, of the amalgamation of their fears of what in the unknown, like what's in the dark. You don't know what's in the dark because you can't see, and so for that reason, it manifests itself in maybe something similar to what we see ourselves. Like you hope that there's a person, and that's probably the least scariest thing you could think of. But then it's twisted. It's not quite right, and then it tries to mimic you, and then even along with its power, like its power is just kind of all over the place. Like he can teleport. He could shoot this the UVX. He can shoot this Venom. Venom just doesn't based on these teasers, I would have never guessed he had a projectile. I know that was kind of like a critique. A lot of people are like, I'm not sure, but I really think like people have a fear of the unknown. Like I'm scared of the ocean because we know so little about it. I'm scared of space because we know so little about it. Like we don't know what is in on these planets or at these star systems. Like, and then maybe that fear and that those thoughts are so great that the universe just kind of builds a physical manifestation of that, and maybe that is the unknown, and I think that is kind of scary. And so for that, that's not something you really can defeat or define or like originate, like source the origination from. Like it is just human consciousness creating this thing that the universe creates to serve some sort of purpose, to fill in that gap of fear, to actually serve out that purpose. I don't know, but that's kind of just a a crude theory of mine that it is just a amalgamation of the physical representation of the amalgamation of fears people have, with that being in the dark, the unknown, all sorts of stuff. And I think that'd be really cool.
So good. I like that. It's just something that's kind of like an amalgamation of the wrongs of the world. Kind of like
Yeah.
evil is incarnate, like Michael Myers, but more scary. We're not more
Mhm.
scary, more supernatural, more
Yeah.
analog. Stevie,
Absolutely.
do you have any
Um,
other theories or speculations?
I think it wasn't, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it was a curveball that they're telling us so much about the fog itself when they bring up the unknown. If
Oh,
we're supposed to read this together, it might to me seem like the unknown is really a part of the entity itself. Maybe
ooh,
it's like one of the red blood cells come to like fix the tears that the entity itself creates.
maybe
It
it's
just
part of
comes
orc
through,
cells.
or it's part of like a digestion mechanism where
Yeah,
if the unknown can kill you, now you're in the entity's realm and you can't even do anything about it. You had no chance.
that's
And
spooky.
Well, this kind of plays in where if like a whole town can go crazy, then the unknown is like a sniper where it's just pinpointing people to target and come at and sneakily bring them in.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the game Don't Look Outside, which is an indie horror game. If you don't know what it is, spoilers. But basically,
This
the
one where
reason
you're
why you
like
don't
just
want to look
getting gang
outside,
stalked in your house, right?
sorry,
You're just getting like gang stalked in your house. You just have like people, you're just imagining people coming after you.
kind of not really. It's kind of like Lovecraft. It's like a Lovecraft Mother game, if you know what Mother.
Okay.
It's like that, but Lovecraft. But basically, spoiler alert for the end of the game. One of the endings, one of the things you can do is actually get to see like the full depth of what the thing is that's making people turn into monsters, go crazy. And it starts off with like a tentacle, but then that tentacle goes to a bigger body, and it goes to a bigger body, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger until the point it's bigger than the entire universe. So my idea that you kind of inspired me is that maybe the unknown's like one of its little fingers of the entity, and the entity is like the hand, something like that.
Yeah, it's like a little starfish from a coral reef.
Yes, a
It's part of a
starfish.
bigger ecosystem.
Yes. So, I'm gonna move on to my next fury. This one has a bit more confidence than it's a demon. And that being the unknown is a tulpa. Do you guys know what a tulpa is?
I don't.
Okay, well, a tulpa is a sentient thought form or an imaginary friend created through disciplined mental concentration, visualization, and meditation practices known as tulpamancy. This was originating from Tibetan Buddhism. The term was popularized in the West by Alexandra David Nayel, I think that's how you say his name. And in modern practice, especially through internet communities, it refers to a widely imaginary companion that is considered to be a distinct, independent consciousness within the creator's mind. This is taken from Google. That's why it's so robotic. But my main two reasons for thinking this is one, there's so many things people think it is, and it somehow incorporates everything. It has the
Mhm.
UVX alien stomach thing. It has kind of like the serial killer tropes. It's more cryptid with like one of its add-ons being like a foot cast of its footprint and stuff like that. So there's all of these things that it has, but it can't be all of them at the same time unless it had to be because people thought it so. So this is kind of tying into what you said, Bryson, of it being the evils, but instead of being the evils and the fears, it's just what people believe it to be. And somehow at one point, maybe in its infancy, someone saw it and was like, that's a monster. So it became a monster, and it just kept getting worse. And as it kept getting scarier and scarier, it itself got scarier and scarier. And so that's why the unknown is so unknown, because we kind of ruined what it was supposed to be before because we made it up and now has to live as this monster.
Mhm.
But we'll never
Yeah,
know because it's the unknown. Sorry.
the no, you're good. The kind of imaginary friend kind of manifestation is really cool because we've not really seen that played out in, I would say, anywhere. Like there are imaginary friend movies, and
Mhm.
maybe even, I think there was an imaginary Blumhouse movie that wasn't so great, but yeah, really interesting take, and one I would be totally down for, and like you mentioned, very much complements the theory I brought up earlier. But yeah, it's, we'll never know, right? Like that's the thing, is like this is such a cool concept, and I would love to see more of it. But part of me just like loves that unknown aspect of it. So I get it.
Stevie, any other
If
thoughts, theories, or
right,
speculations?
if it's like in someone's head, that kind of plays to the theory of it can only mimic somebody you've heard. Like it's already in your mind, so all the times we hear it speak to someone, it's coming from inside your own head. Like you're not hearing it vocalize really. It's kind of projecting thoughts into you.
It's back to me. And now we have my second to last theory, and that is the unknown is self-aware and now it knows that it's in a video game. So this one's a bit out of the park, far-fetched, but allow me to explain. So the first thing that makes me think this is that when you play as the unknown, it looks directly at you at the camera. Now it's not different from any of the other killers, but I believe so far it's the only character that not only looks at you, but also talks as it looks at you. So it's not like Chucky who's kind of like, ha ha ha, I love to kill. He's like, I was trapped in dungeons long ago, and he looks right at you. It kind of like addresses you as the player, and it's kind of like knows it's you that's playing the game and stuff like that, which kind of ties to an old theory that people think is that either you're the entity, like the player is the entity, or the player is like known to be aware by other characters, but the main reason why I think that is also because of just how the unknown works in games, specifically with the weakened status effect. Why is it called weakened? Well, I feel like, in my opinion, in my trash theory, the unknown is wanting to be used and wants to kill, so it tries to make itself simple so people understand it. Compared to someone like Trapper, he's very simple, but if we look at the killers before the unknown, like the Singularity, he has cameras, and you have to use the cameras like this, all you have to do that. But the unknown is very simple. When you hit somebody, you're weakened. When I go around the map for a bit, I drop a hallucination. Survivors can dispel the hallucination. Very simple, very weird. Is it because he wants to be known? Is it because the unknown wants to be known by the player so he can exist? I think not. This is my best theory.
He wants to
Jokes aside,
he wants to have an overloaded kit, so he made it for himself. Yeah.
jokes aside, this isn't
Absolutely.
actually theory. It's just something funny. Anyways, Bryson, do you have any more serious ones?
I don't. Just the two. I think, and I see your last theory, but I won't spoil it. But like for me, like it's just, I think the less we know, the better, and I think that adds to the character. I think that adds to the horror aspect of the character. And for me, I think the not knowing is the scariest part of anything, just in any aspect or concept or character or whatnot. Like I think wherever my mind wanders, it will be scarier than whatever behavior writes down on a piece of paper or in game and tells the players. So that's kind of my stance on the unknown, and super cool character. Love him.
Very spooky. Stevie.
Oh, that's it. I just see it as a space monster and something that's in your mind and it's getting to your brain before it gets to your body.
Mhm.
Classic horror. I bring it home, Maddie.
I have the final theory, and that theory is the unknown is just the unknown. But specifically,
Whoa.
I don't mean the unknown is the
Ta-da-da.
killer unknown. I mean the unknown is the concept of the unknown. Because, as you said before, we're probably never going to find out. And another saying that I think of a lot when I think of the unknown is the greatest fear, or trying to like explore the unknown. So when I think of that, I think of like, oh, so most people would be like scared of the dark, but would people more be scared of something they don't know than the dark because at least they know what the dark is? So my theory is that the unknown is the kind of like conceptualization slash embodiment of the unknown. So that's why we'll never figure out what it is, because it is literally like the avatar of something you can never figure out. And that's why it tries to come get you, because that's what it's supposed to do. You're not supposed to find out what it is, because there is nothing else. The unknown is the unknown.
Big time. Big time.
Before we wrap up, I actually have a question. Now that
Yeah.
I've thought about it a little bit, do we think the unknown is intelligent, as in like human intelligent, or do we think
Like
it's more like
sentient?
animalistic and
Oh
acting on
gosh.
instincts?
Oh, that's a good one. I personally think it does have to be sentient, because even though it's mimicking things, it says so in certain context. I feel like it would need to at least know what it is saying for it to make sense. Like when it's
Okay,
nearby, it mimics what people's last words are, or what people might be saying before it attacks to try and bring people to it.
that's
But for stuff
true.
like when it's in the menu screen, it's just kind of yapping away. It's like, there's no one here. What are you doing?
Hmm.
Doy. So
Yeah.
that's my thought, at least. Stevie, what do you think?
Uh, it depends on the player, right? If the player
Yeah.
is playing like an animal, that's their brain. But if like they're hitting crazy trick shots and like nodding at you while they're walking over to pick you up, that just looks funny. You know they have intelligence.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's great.
Very silly. And before we do move on to the end of the episode, I have one final theory. Not related to who the unknown is, but rather relating to Michaela, Sable, the unknown, and Greenville. So this one, this is gonna sound like so self-lazy. I like this theory the most. So, my theory is that the unknown and Sable, those two specifically, do not exist. They are movie characters in an in-universe movie. Allow me to explain. First off, with Michaela, when we read Michaela's lore, she never mentions Sable, but Sable mentions Michaela. Additionally, Michaela, in her universe, she disappeared on stage and was never seen again, along with her best friend before her. Now, would it be a far-fetched idea to think someone heard about this disappearance from like 20 years ago and decided to incorporate that in the movie and make a fake friend for her and then have her kind of be like a secondary antagonist, a protagonist in that movie with
Mhm.
Olivia? Because if we look back at the Unknown's lore, it doesn't talk about the unknown, it talks about Olivia, who could have been a potential horror movie protagonist, and the unknown could have been the antagonist. And instead of being like a creature feature, it's like a psychological thriller of her trying to go around and figure out who this is. And maybe in that movie, there's clips of like what other people think it is, kind of like Blair Witch Project, which not only adds to kind of like the cryptid factor of it, the analog horror aspect of it. So maybe it's kind of like VHS, where we see multiple people's point of view of the same monster, but it acts in different ways, incorporating what people think. And that could be someone who was like, here's the unknown, here's what I think the monster is. So in the universe of Michaela's world, the unknown doesn't exist, but that also explains why Sable is never mentioned by Michaela. Additionally, when we're in the entities realm, you may be like, hey, but on the statue in the graveyard, there is the names of Michaela and Sable. Again, what if that map is just the movie version of Greenville and not the real version? Because this also adds up to why there's so many different discrepancies. It's because the killer is designed to be that way to make the movie scary. It also explains why the movie theater is so prominent in the map. It's like a not
Yeah.
so visible reminder of, hey, these two in this universe of Dead by Daylight are movie characters in Michaela's universe. And it's also why we never see the unknown referenced in anything else.
That's a fun theory. I like that.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is cool.
it definitely has some holes in it, like, okay, how come later cosmetics probably do of Michaela talk about Sable or vice versa and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but
Well,
I
Michaela's
thought it was
also the
funny.
movie version from the sequel or whatever.
Yeah. And also, let's not forget the main banner image for that DLC. It has Sable and the Unknown in movie seats staring at the projector.
Hmm.
Interesting.
That's yeah. It's like a Scream movie poster. It's
Exactly.
good.
It's like a Scream thing. And
Hmm.
Danny, Ghostface, them, mind blown. Is this? I feel like I'm talking about like those Illuminati theories, like in 2008 to 2000,
Yeah.
where
It's
people are like,
real.
Mr. Pringle? Mr. Pringle, more like Pringle. You know what Pringle is? Magic the Gathering
They,
foil cards. You know
yeah.
what else is like cardboard and paper? Money. You know what has money? The Illuminati. You know what is on the dollar bill? The
It's
Illuminati
exactly what you
triangle.
sound like. Don't worry.
Exactly.
You've got yourself.
Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. Remember, listeners, if you want to send us a question, you can email us at redstainradio@gmail.com. Send us in your questions, comments, ideas for future discussions, or feedback. We'd love to hear it. Please
You
do.
really
We
do.
really
It's really
appreciate it.
sweet hearing from people.
Yes.
Also, let
In the
us know if
meantime,
what what characters lore you want us to cover next.
yes,
If there's
because
any
we really
requests.
covered the unknown, but if you want to talk about like Elodie Rocoto or Felix or Claudette, maybe one of the originals, reach out. We want to know. In the meantime, share this podcast with a friend or family member. We'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Stevie and Bryson. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you in the fog next week.
Thank you, Maddie.
Thank you, Maddie. Bye, everyone.